Since the Heading South tour, we realised there's a few more bits of equipment that we'd like to add to the bike. So we're here at Touratech in Switzerland. I'm going to see what they've got, what equipment we can add to the bike.
Right, it's time to do some shopping. Sean's favourite type of shopping. What have you found?
Yeah, well, we're thinking of taking a tank bag for this trip. It's going to be good to put the camera in, so we don't have to keep getting off the bike every time we want to take a photo. I quite like the extreme range that they do at Touratech here, which is fully waterproof. Got a pouch there for the map in the front if you want to be old school, which I think we will for this trip. We might stick a map on there. It's nice to see that's where you're going. But yeah, this one looks like a good option, I think.
Yeah, that looks really good. I think
it is expandable as well, so if you want to put, like, I don't know, a jumper or a coat in there, we can.
Yeah, I definitely think we'll put the camera and the drone in.
And probably maybe some water as well might be quite a good idea. This one is designed for the 1250. It's shaped just right for the tank, so yeah, I think we'll be taking this one with us on the trip. What else do we need, Em? I think we said we wanted to put some radiator protectors on.
Radiator protectors, and I think we want to raise the handlebars as well.
Yeah, that's right. I think we met someone on the Heading South trip who said that he had a stone hit his radiator, and that was it. It was actually game over then, so he had to have them replaced, which made me think it's a good idea to replace them. So I think they've got some here.
They've got everything in the shop. It's great. Yeah, this is them.
That's them, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, they're just going to stop any stones or anything from maybe puncturing the radiators, which would be, yeah, as I say, that would be game over.
Yeah, it'd be a nightmare.
So let's put them on today, I think.
Yeah, we'll put them on. I think as well they're going to look awesome on shadow because it's black as well. So aesthetically, they're going to look really cool.
It's not really a difficult decision with the colour.
No. And I think we said the handlebar raisers as well, but we weren't sure about like the height because Touratech has different options.
Yeah, a friend of ours recommended that we get the 40mm ones. Is that them?
That's the 25mm ones.
Oh, okay, yep. So we're going to take the 40mm razors, and it's supposed to be a lot more comfortable as well when you're on the motorway. Also, if you're quite tall and you need to stand up, then it makes your arm position a lot more comfy. So yeah, radiator covers, handlebar razors, and a tank bag. And maybe we have a little look for some clothes as well.
Yeah, because I'm quite concerned about the cold on this trip. I'm a little bit concerned. I've looked at the weather and it says it's going to be like a 9 to 10 degrees at the top. So I think we're going to need some thermals for underneath the suit, just as like a protection, just as like a maybe we need them.
And maybe to sleep in the sleep-in bag.
Yeah, so let's go check those out now. We all know how I feel about packing cubes and packing systems, and we already have these. These are the Touratech liners that I used on the Heading South tour, and we're going to be using on the Heading North tour as well. So we've already got these, which is awesome. And they also have ones that line the lid as well, which I've not seen before, but maybe are a cool addition. I don't think we need them this time though, but that is quite a cool option. And we also have over on this side the rack packs that we already have. We have this one, the waterproof one. We have the size small, which is perfect for us for this trip. So we're going to be taking those as well. And I think we now just need to go into the garage and get all the parts fitted.
The good thing about the Touratech shop here in Ebikon is they have an on-site workshop, so you can actually have all of the parts fitted while you wait. So Shadow's here on the lift, and he's getting his radiator protectors installed there, and also the handlebar razors, so it'll be ready to go. We're going to have a little look around the shop once more while that's being done, maybe grab a coffee. The headlight guard we fitted last time, and I think when people get a new bike, this is the first thing they put on is a headlight guard. But I think it's overlooked by a lot of people is to protect the radiators. And I think they're even more important, because if your radiator gets damaged, then you can't ride anymore. So they look great, and then we can have peace of mind that we're not going to get any damage there. The bike is ready. The parts have been fitted while we waited, and I think the radiator guards look awesome. They're fully black, which match the triple black bike, and it should really offer some decent protection for the radiators. The other thing we had fitted was the handlebar razors. We've gone for the 40mm razors here, which is going to make it a lot more comfortable for those long motorway slogs, and also a lot better when you're standing up on the pegs if you've got long arms. The other thing we had fitted was the fuel canister at the back, which clips onto these cases. The cases come with the studs already for you, so you can put the plate straight on, and it's also lockable as well, so it won't be stolen very easily. We've got the 5-litre canister here, which we might actually for this trip use for fresh water, which we'll use when we're cooking, and we should have enough there for a full meal, cups of teas and even coffee in the morning. We're going to head back on the road now, head home and continue our research for the trip. We've come to Zurich today to have a little look at some new products that we've seen that are going to maybe save a little bit of weight and a little bit of space in the bike. So we're going to have a little look at them in the shop to see what they're actually looking like.
Yeah, that's the plan for this week. We're 4 weeks out from the tour, so it's kind of like preparation of grabbing a few products that we need and or changing a few things out that we saw on the last tour that we might need to change. So that's the plan for this week. So we're going to go to Transo, which is a store here in Zurich. They have an outlet and a main store, and then maybe we'll go to another outlet a little bit later.
Yeah, it's all very well seeing the products on the internet, but until you actually see them, sometimes they're a lot different than they appear. But yeah, hopefully the ones that we've got our eye on will be just the job. One of the things we found on our last trip was with our stove, sometimes when we had uneven ground, it wasn't sitting very flat, so the pan was slowly sliding off. Now, Primus do sell this little paw here, which clips to the bottom. So we just come to have a look at it, see if it's any good. But it pretty much clips into each of the legs. Eventually. That's pretty good.
That looks good. And it's super light as well, right? It's titanium.
Yeah, it's titanium, stable little base. It's around €50, so it's pretty steep, but I don't think there's many other alternatives.
So today I'm looking into the route. Now there's loads of different softwares and applications that you can use, like Basecamp and loads of other ones. I prefer to use Google Maps because I really like being able to look into the points of interest and also cities that we want to see while planning like the best roads and the best routes. So I thought I'd show you all how I've done it for the Heading North tour. So what I like to do is start off with a blank map. So you just create this in Google Maps, and then I pick a country. So we can start with maybe like Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania. And I research. I go into Google Maps, also like books and other blogs to be able to find the best roads, the best castles, the best museums, everything that we want to see in the country. And then I start to build the map out, and I do this by adding pins. So this is kind of what Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania will look like. And as you can see, all of the pins have different icons, and this is a really cool feature that Google Maps has. So if you click the little bucket here, you can change the color and also add loads of different icons to explain what the pin actually is without you having to like Google it or research the name, because sometimes they can have really obscure names and you're like, why have I pinned that? This helps with that. So the next thing that I do is I start to connect the dots to form the route, and this is really cool. So you can click here in the top corner, it says add directions, and that creates another layer. So this is the Baltics Route 1 layer that I've created, and you can add in all of the pins and all of the stops, and you can drag, so I can drag the route to different roads that I might want to take, and then I use Google Street View to see which one is the best road for us to be able to do. And I just keep building out the map. So let's look into Finland. So if we add in all of the maps, the pins that I've done for Finland and a little bit into Norway, and then Sean also has access to this map, which I think is a great feature of Google Maps. You can just keep adding pins, and Sean can keep adding pins, and then eventually your map will look like this with hundreds of pins on, and then you can connect the dots and your route starts to form and you have your loop. And I think this is so cool because you can also have this on your phone. So when you're out on tour and you've been spontaneous and you're like, I want to take that road, then you can pull it up on your phone and you can see all of the points of interest that you've pinned that are near the location, and then take your own route or your own diversion there. We love this feature, it's so handy. The other thing that's really cool about Google Maps is sometimes it can be frustrating. You can only add a certain amount of layers, I think it's 10 to your Google Maps. So if you want to plan an off-road route, sometimes it can be a little bit tricky. However, you can, so let's like take this pin, I've pinned a town here. You can click on the little edit button and you can add a description, and you can say like must see city or something. And then you can even like save it. And then when you click onto the the pin, it will come up with like must see city or photo spot or turn left here and take gravel track or whatever you want. And this feature I think is absolutely fantastic. You can also add, I haven't done it on this map, but you can also add like lines to the map. So let's say if you want to take a train route or whatever, and you can name the line in that way. You can even add images and videos to it, which it does have a lot of features once you know how to use it. Using it can sometimes be a little bit difficult, but this is how Sean and I use it. So all of our maps that we make one basically for every single tour, are stored on our website, so you guys can use them as well. There's a link in the description. But basically that's how I plan a route. Welcome to our kitchen. This is not somewhere you normally see on our vlogs because we're normally out and traveling, but when we're not, we're here in Switzerland in our little apartment. And today I want to talk to you guys about health, as I feel it's really something that's not talked enough about, especially when it comes to pre-travel or pre-tour preparations. You really need to be mentally and physically at your best to be able to do them, especially when you're long-term touring. So I want to talk to you guys today about a few things that Sean and I like to do before we head on a tour. So today I'm actually drinking one of my favourite drinks. It is Chloro Fresh. This is the bottle that we get, and it's just basically a liquid, well, they call it a liquid internal deodorant, but it's full of greens and nutrients. So I take one of these in the morning, and I also am making one of my favourite drinks, even though I sometimes make it a little bit too strong. So we've got lemon, carrot, ginger, and also turmeric. So I put all of these in a juicer and make a big juice for Sean and I to have every morning, just a shot of that, and it really boosts our nutrients for the day. So the other thing I really like to do is make a healthy evening meal. So this can be anything from pasta, it can also be tofu scramble on toast. Maybe that could be a breakfast for us that I would do. I also like to make things with rice and tofu, and we also include a lot of chickpeas, beans and lentils. Basically, we're really keeping our protein high and our processed food to a minimum, and that's something that keeps us in tip-top shape before we head on a tour. So the other thing that I like to do is make sure that we're prepared for our return as well. So I will basically go to the supermarket, and whatever is on offer in the vegetable section, I will buy maybe more than I actually need for the week, and then I will freeze them all pre-chopped into a freezer bag. So as soon as we get home from tour and we're really hungry because we've normally had a super long day, I can just go straight to the freezer, grab out my bag of vegetables, stick it on the frying pan, add some pasta or some rice, and we've got a really great meal, and that saves us calling a takeaway or having to go out for food. So this is our Saga juicer, which actually has a 1.8 horsepower little motor inside of it. So we're gonna do some juicing now. I'm gonna start off with the carrots. So carrot juice is juiced, and the next one I'm going to do is pineapple. So I always make one like nice juice, so with carrot and some fruit, and then I also make like a really potent shot, and that's with the turmeric, ginger and lemon juice. Okay, so here is the juice. I'm going to blend this one up now and then make our powerful shot with the ginger and the turmeric. The concentration when I pour. Okay, the power shot is now done. And I just want to be careful with that because the turmeric, as I say, is so potent. So we have it in here. So now I'm going to put this in another glass bottle, and I'll have a shot now, and I'll make Sean have a shot, and then we'll have that for the rest of the week.
The other day, Em and I worked on the bike a little bit. We wanted to add a few extra power sockets to the bike, as I'm going to be taking a heated vest with me this time. So Em's got a heated vest as well, so we needed 2 power points for that. Also, I want to put a USB-C on the back so Em can charge her phone while she's navigating. So I went with the Optimate USB-C port, which is really good because if you accidentally leave something connected to the battery and the battery gets below a certain voltage, it will kill the power to that one as a bit of a fail-safe. For me, I added just a standard socket here. This one is hooked up directly to the battery, so I need to make sure that one doesn't stay connected after the engine off the bike is switched off. But as it's for the heated vest, I won't be sitting on the bike for a long period of time anyway with the engine turned off, so it shouldn't be a problem. So we've got the OEM socket, the new socket, M's USB-C charger at the back, and the OEM USB socket at the front. So that should be plenty power outlets for this trip. We are packing for the Heading North tour, but all our packing is basically the same no matter which big tour we do. Perhaps we have a few extra coats or a few more shorts depending on the weather. But Em's going to take you through what we pack in the exhaust size pannier, and it's mainly clothes. So I'm going to take you through that, and I'm going to go and get the camping stuff ready.
All right, let's get straight into it. So like Sean said, exhaust side pannier, 38 litres, and we're going to go straight in with our cosmetics bag. That's the first thing I put in. Inside here, really boring, just got shampoo, conditioner, etc. And that goes straight in the pannier. Next thing to go in, we use the Eagle Creek packing cubes. We've used these on every tour, I think. And inside this one, we have all of Sean's clothes. So 2 shirts, a couple of pairs of pants, all of his thermals, and t-shirts and yeah, hats and gloves, whatever else he might need on tour. So this one basically just lines the bottom of the pannier, and you can kind of squish it in because it's closed. The next thing to go in this is our smaller Eagle Creek packet cubes. These we have 3 of. I actually have 2, Sean has 1. And these are underwear, socks, etc. and just personal items. So these go on the next level. So you'll see that you still have a little bit of room, and that goes in our second cosmetics bag, which is basically my makeup bag, and that goes next to the 3 packing cubes. So I would really recommend, if you're looking for packing cubes or cosmetics bags for long-term touring, try and get ones that are square and not cylinder shape, because it makes packing a lot easier. The next thing that goes in is our laptop. I like to sandwich this between 2 clothes bags just to help with the vibration. The final thing to go in is my packing cube. This has jumpers, jeans, dresses, whatever else that I might need. This goes directly on the top. The next thing to go in and final is our hairdryer, travel hairdryer. No, it's not a necessity, but it is really helpful, especially when you have long hair like me. And this goes directly at the front. So the last thing to go in is another small Eagle Creek packing cube with my dresses in. But first I just zip up the Touratech bag liner. It has a bit of Velcro on the front, which is great too. And then I add this onto the back, and this just lives in the lid, basically. Sean, can you come in and put the lid on for us?
Are you ready to go?
We're ready, I think.
All right. We are not putting waterproof liners in because we trust these panniers. They've been 100% waterproof so far.
Yeah, and we've had hail on these and they've been absolutely perfect. Hail and storms.
So this one is ready to go on the bike.
Ready to go. Now we need to do the camping pannier.
Yep, the important one. It's time to pack the camping pannier and equipment. Is this the fun one, Em?
This is the fun pannier. It's 45 litres, so it is a little bit bigger than the exhaust side pannier that we have.
This is all our really important equipment. So we've got our tent, our sleeping bag, all our cooking equipment, and our first aid kit as well is all going to go in this one. So this is very functional equipment, which we'll be accessing every day. Yeah, and if we're not camping, we don't actually have to open this pannier if we're just in a hotel, which is the other good thing as well. But we start with the tent? Yep, first of all, we've put in our liner. It's 45 litres here. And the first one is the Hubber tent from MSR. This is, we found, the lightest and most compact tent we can find. And also the poles are exactly the same length as the pannier, so it packs really well. So but there's also other stuff in that as well. Oh yeah, it is. I've rolled in our double sleeping mat as well. And the footprint. And the footprint as well. So it's all in one packet. Because last time we had them separate and it took up a lot more room, so we've actually really improved on that. So that like gets squished into the bottom, kind of a similar technique to the closed pannier where you put your soft stuff at the bottom. Then the next is our sleeping bag. Yeah, these are 2 Thermalite down sleeping bags. We've put them in a Sea to Summit waterproof liner, is it? Yeah, sack, a dry sack, isn't it? But mainly just to get rid of the oxygen, and you can really squeeze out most of the air in here, which makes it a lot easier to pack as well. Yeah, we also have the 2 pillows as well from Thermarest. They're inside there, and they all get squished down. As an added bonus, if it starts raining while you're getting your gear out, at least you know your sleeping bags are going to stay nice and dry until the last moment. What's next, Em?
Next thing, I think we will go in with these guys next. These are the Sea to Summit Reacted. These are a new thing for this trip because we are concerned about the cold. I am concerned about the cold. So we've got some liners for the sleeping bags. Apparently they add an extra 8 degrees onto your sleeping bag, like for the warm inside.
That's really good. Remember in Portugal or Spain not so long ago, it dropped to -2 in the night and it was pretty much our limit of how cold we want to be. So weather can be changeable, especially in the North Cap where we're heading next. So I think these are a real good idea. And they're quite light too. So I'm going to put them in.
These go at the front.
Do these stand up like that?
Yeah, they stand up there. Okay, the next thing to go in is our pan set. So we put it into a Sea to Summit dry sack again, just to have like a mess bag really. So if we're on the road and we cook and there's no access to water, we can still dump everything in there even if it's a bit dirty and nothing else in the bag gets contaminated.
Yeah, I think also we have our drinking mugs in here as well.
Drinking mugs.
So our whole kit that we need is all in one packet. Where does that go, Em?
That goes to the side here. Standing upright.
Okay, well, so what's next, Em?
We have our Primus stove, the TI.
Ah, yep. This one runs off a multi-fuel, so you can actually burn petrol in here. We personally use the Primus fuel because it burns a lot cleaner. We want to keep the stove in as good a condition as possible.
Next to that is this small little bag. It's got our 2 towels in, 2 headlights from BioLite, a tent light from BioLite, and also our new Matador picnic blanket for having when we camp. That one goes next to that.
So that one we can quickly throw in the tent once the tent's up, and then we can get all our bits and bobs out that we need later.
Then we have our first aid kit. So we actually got this from Xbed, like the dry sack for it, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, we've got some extra mosquito cream in there because M tends to get bitten quite a lot.
Yes.
And I think in Norway there's going to be a fair few mosquitoes out.
We also always carry eye wash as well in that for a bike trip. And the next thing to go in is my favourite pouch. It's kind of got all of our little camping accessories in it, including our coffee pot and coffee grinder, which is essential to us, might not be essential to everybody. We also have our, it's the footprint, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the new footprint. It goes on the bottom of the stove, and if you're on an uneven surface, it helps to level it out a bit. It's also titanium. I think it weighs less than 100. It's like 50 grams or something. And it has a bit of wind protection as well, so that's new for this trip.
Yeah, we also have our wash, 2 titanium sporks, a citronella candle, and some playing cards. And we also have a new windshield as well.
Yeah, it's a little bit more compact, and I think half as heavy as the last one.
But we'll show you that when we're on the road.
So just go in there, right?
That just goes in there. And then the last 2 things to go in are our Patagonia down jackets. We've used these for like 5 years and we love them. They literally saved me when it was -2 in the tent.
Yeah, so. They're really good. So again, another layer we can possibly put on if it gets super cold, but I don't think we'll need them at night.
No.
We can also put them under the bike jacket as well.
Yeah.
A handy, very compact, warm jacket to have.
And also if you put these in last, or your clothes or this type of thing in last, it makes it easier to be able to mold it around because it's fabric. We also still have quite a bit of room in that. So in the lid, we also will put in our waterproofs that go in the top. And then we're done, basically.
Yeah, let's put the lid on. Again, all waterproof in here, so nothing to worry about in this one.
Yeah.
Just one little thing on this pannier, as I'll show you in a minute, is it has the studs here to carry some auxiliary fuel. So we've saved a little bit of space in here this time because we've got a fuel canister that's going to go on the outside, so we don't have to keep fuel inside this time. So here is the fuel canister that we got from Touratech. It's a 3-litre can, and normally people carry extra fuel for their bike, but as our bike can carry 30 litres of fuel in the tank, I don't think we'll need the extra fuel on this trip. So we've got 3 litres of the stove fuel in here, which should do us for most of our trip. We don't want to be searching for that while we're out and about.
No.
But as a backup, it can run on petrol as well.
That's great.
So this should just clip onto here. There we go, straight on. And the good little feature is when you actually lock the pannier, this can't be removed. So the only way someone could take this is to take all the straps off. But I might even put a little cable tie on there so it can't be removed.
Yeah, so that's, now we're talking about more of the bike external storage. We also take these 2 Touratech bags that go on the frame, and inside each one is, so this one has our like our rucksack in that we want to take out for the cities, and also a chain for the helmets. And the one that you have has all of the fun bike equipment in it.
Yeah. We got a high vis vest in case we break down. Not that we're going to break down. No. Or if it gets really dark and rainy, maybe we'll pop them on. I brought some jump leads just in case. I met a few people that needed some help. I wasn't able to help them last time, so I popped them in. And also a little scythe in here, which you can either take or share fuel. So these are things that we probably aren't going to need. There's also a puncture repair kit in there, but it's handy to have them accessible. So they'll stay on the front of the bike on the crash bars.
The other thing that we are taking this time is a tank bag. This one is from Touratech as well. We aren't storing anything inside of this. This is going to be for our camera, but we don't want to rely on it for storage because it's not lockable storage. So we're going to keep everything in our top box, but when we're riding through and we see a moose or you see something, you don't have to jump off the bike, unlock the pannier. There's going to be the camera will be stored in this, and it's also got a nice feature which I like, which we put the map of Norway on the top there, and it also has a waterproof pouch in here, so we can charge things while we're on the go and don't have to rely on like stopping at a cafe to charge GoPro batteries. This
is from the Touratech waterproof range, and the entire tank bag is 100% waterproof. So I'm going to run a cable from the USB port on the front of the bike into here, and that way we can actually charge the drone up, all of the GoPro batteries on the go as well. As Em said, it's not the highest of security level, so we won't be keeping anything in here that we wouldn't be too disappointed if it went.
I think if you pack all of your panniers and then any of the external storage, you can just, put in your water or your snacks when you're on the way. So it's a good thing. We're keeping it empty, and then we'll make sure that everything that we want is lockable storage.
As we mentioned before, on top of the panniers, we have these rack packs. These are from Touratech. And again, very simple, 100% waterproof. Just roll them over and clip them, and they can be made as big or as small as you need. And these are for auxiliary items, really.
Yeah, and we attach these with the rock straps, right?
Yeah, that's right. We have 4 of these rock straps. They're elasticated, simple clips. You just clip them onto any metal part, and also the panniers. And yeah, they're easy to get on and off, so we use those.
So we keep one of them basically empty. So this is for water and our waterproofs, because we take the Panniers traveler suit, which is basically 2 suits. You got a summer suit and then a waterproof layer. So when we don't need the waterproof layer, it lives in there. And then the second one has shoes and food in it. So we actually grabbed these from Tropic Feel. These are ultra light waterproof, what's the word? It's not waterproof.
Well, they dry. They dry really quickly. Water can pass through them.
Yeah, you can go into. So we've both got a pair of these, and they actually weigh 250 grams per shoe, which is super light. And then we have a Sea to Summit bag with our dry food in. We like to take pea protein and also pasta, which is lentil, which you guys saw on the last trip, but we always take at least 5 to 7 days, would you say?
Yeah, we have 5. We try not to eat this in the first 5 days, so we see what we can get on the road, and if we can't find anything for a few days, at least we know we've always got something. Because there's nothing worse than finding the perfect location and then realizing you haven't got any supplies with you, because it defeats the object of the freedom. So yeah, that's those 2, and we'll strap those onto the panniers. Finally, the top box. Now, this is something maybe the average person won't have the same amount of equipment that we're taking. Obviously, we're documenting it and recording it, so we have a lot of equipment for our GoPro equipment, our drone, and our camera. These take up a lot of space and are quite heavy, but it's an essential for what we do.
So first thing we have are 2 GoPro boxes. These lay in the bottom, and they are full of all of our little bits of GoPro bobs, aren't they?
Basically, yeah, all the attachments. Also in here we have the hard drives, which we will use to back up everything each night. So we've got a fail safe in case we lose or anything gets damaged.
So that go there. The next thing is our drone. So it comes in its own little box, which is good, and we are taking the DJI
Mini 3 Pro.
Mini 3 Pro.
This is the smallest and best quality drone I think you can find for that size. It is tiny.
Next on the bottom goes my handbag. So I take the Pack Safe little women's bag, and inside it's got like sunglasses and a few little things, my wallet in, and this one also lies on the bottom, so it's easy for me to grab when we get to a city and we have somewhere safe to store our stuff.
A few nice features about Em's bag is it's lined with metal. The straps have got metal in it, so you can't cut them, you can't snatch it, you can unclip it and you can loop it around chairs and tables.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Really cool little bag though.
Next thing to go in is our camera bag, which also has a lot of other things inside of it as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, a few camera chargers, a few cables and stuff, but everything that we need. We're only traveling with the one lens, it keeps things a little bit smaller.
Okay, next thing to go in is is this GoPro bits as well?
Yeah, this is GoPro bits. These are GoPro bits that I might actually need on the road as a quick grab.
Ah, okay. So I think actually this one goes in first.
Oh,
this
okay.
one is, again, is wires, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
all of our wires.
charging wires. Yeah, basically just wires and an auxiliary battery power pack.
Yeah, and I also forgot to mention that these bags are Sea to Summit, the new hydraulic range, and they are really lightweight. That one weighs 36 grams.
That's pretty good, isn't it? Because we found some of our bags were coming up to like 100 grams per bag.
So we've definitely cut down a little bit on the amount of bags that we do take. This is always basically out with us, this bag. This is an Eagle Crate packing cube, and it has our microphones in it. So this one is always with us, but it also lives in the top box.
That needs to stay handy because we change from our helmet microphones to a standard microphone when we're off the bike. So we keep that one relatively handy.
Next thing to go in is the Life Venture umbrella. It's Norway, it's gonna rain.
Yeah, quite actually important if you want to take photos in the rain. You can still get fantastic images, but you don't want your camera getting rained on. So a simple thing as an umbrella can be really good. Sometimes it's just nice to get out of the rain to think sometimes. Yeah. Throw that in, easily accessible.
And then we have our travel wallet, which is also by PackSafe. It's RIEF safe and proofed. And it's also great because for us, it holds 2 passports. A lot of passport holders only hold 1, so it's really nice. That one also goes in there.
All the cards, quite safe, yeah. Something to grab as well every time you leave the bike.
Yeah.
I'll just always grab this, put it in the rucksack. So make sure you always have your documents with you all times.
Then the last thing that goes into, one of the last things that goes into the top box is my wipe.
I say that's your bag, that one.
It's got wipes and tissues, camera lens cleaner, hand sanitizer, also earplugs, just basically everything you might need for like in a quick dash. You just want to grab like a tissue or a wipe. So this lives in the top box as well. And my final new addition for this trip, because after the last video, you guys had some comments about my hot water bottle. And one of you actually messaged me about these Nagaline water bottles that are often used for through hiking. You can actually put boiling water in these.
That's quite impressive. And you don't get any taste in the water.
You don't get any taste. So that's going to go in the bottom of my sleeping bag in replacement of a hot water bottle on the freezing cold nights, and it can also use and double up as a water bottle for in the day. So that one goes in there, and we are done. With room, may I add.
Yeah, room for the tripod, which we're currently using at the moment, but our tripod will also just fit in there nicely. Also got Em's mirror there.
Yes, and also we have the Peak Design little foldable tote that I've hooked on with a carabiner, just so when you want to like nip out and grab your food shopping, that's straight there, and then you can just grab that and it's done.
Yeah, and that is ready to go.
And that means that we are ready to go.
That means we're ready to go, yeah. Some people do put an additional bag on top of their top box, but we've got no need for that. But you do have the fixation points there as well.
Yeah, for us, I think we have ample room, and we also have one of the dry bags from the rack packs from Touratech is empty. So we have ample room for whatever. And this is the most amount of clothes. It's a cold trip, so we have thermals and hats and gloves that we wouldn't normally be taking.
Not on a summer trip, no. Yeah.
So this is us kind of jam-packed.
Yeah, and other trips where we're not camping as well, we have absolutely loads of room. On the back of Em's pannier is this lovely soft pad there that keeps your back in good condition, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really helped me, this pad. Before we had on the old 1200, it wasn't so thick, and I definitely noticed a big difference when we switched to the Touratech pad.
So the last trip we did, a lot of people asked how much all of our luggage weighed. Yeah. So today we're going to do the big weigh-in.
Yeah, for complete transparency, we want to show you exactly how much we take. So we'll start with the exhaust side pannier.
Oh.
What are we weighing in at?
It's a little bit temperamental, this thing.
Okay. I'm guessing around 15.
This one is 16.5 kilograms.
And then we have the top box with all of our camera equipment which we know is heavy.
This one is 14 kilograms.
Okay. And then this one, sides.
Finally.
So this one is the camping equipment pannier.
That's also 16.5, which is
oh, wow.
Very similar for the left hand and right hand side.
So we had 16, 14, 16?
16, I think 16.5 or 17, something like that. But remembering these panniers weigh 5 kilograms each, which is actually not so bad considering they're a really thick aluminium and they're
waterproof.
super strong. Yeah. So with our 3 panniers, rider and pillion, we're looking at about 170 kilograms in collection now. Yeah, which I don't think is too bad.
Yeah, you let us know anyway. I'm sure you will.
How many kilograms do you travel with?
But for us, we're definitely not overloaded with these panniers. We don't feel it, and we could save space in some things. Like if you didn't have all of our camera equipment, you would be taking a lot less. But when it comes to the camping pannier, I don't think you can actually get much more lightweight than the products and the stuff that we have bought for this.
Everything in that pannier, if you don't include the pannier, is about 11 kilograms.
Which is incredible. You could hike with that.
Sleeping bag, cooking stove. I've even got a little bit of fuel in there with the stove.
Yeah, it is very, very good. As well as we could take half the clothes that we take. We take this amount of clothes because we are traveling for such a long time and we want to have different options. But overall, we're very happy with our setup and hope that this can help you when you're planning for your long-term motorcycle tour.
It's a couple of days before we leave for the big trip. Shadow is almost ready. He's had the parts fitted by Touratech, and we've actually put brand new tyres on it too. We've gone with the Metzler Torrance Next 2s. So apparently they're quite long lasting, so they should do us for the whole length of this tour. And very exciting news, we've just had a call from BMW and the LED light to be retrofitted is ready. So we're going to go take Shadow to the shop now and drop him off, and I think we'll pick him up tomorrow and he'll have his brand new light just in time for the trip.